Today's top stories at NBR. The biggest inflation increase since 1990. Restaurant Brands hits $1 billion in sales, a potential acquisition or merger with Sky TV, and there's more coming right up. Kia ora and welcome to NBR Today, a wrap of the day's top business stories from the authority in New Zealand business news since 1970, nbr.co.nz. It's Thursday, January 27th. I'm Paul Brennan. Thanks again for joining us. Finance Minister Robertson has signalled there will be more targeted support for those sectors worst affected by the COVID-19 Omicron outbreak. But just what form that will take is still unclear. Robertson joined NBR political editor Brent Edwards.
One of the things that we have said is we will monitor, and we are monitoring on a daily basis as we can, the impact of the red light setting. And we have indicated that should we see some severe impacts, that we will look at targeted support.
Finance Minister Robertson with Brent Edwards there. Annual inflation has hit 5.9%, the biggest increase since a 7.6% increase in the June 1990 quarter. In the latest Consumer Price Index for the 3 months to the end of December, prices in 10 out of the 11 main groups in the CPI went up, with only the communications group recording a fall in prices. Statistics New Zealand's Consumers Prices Senior Manager Aaron Beck says New Zealand is not alone, with many other OECD countries experiencing higher inflation than in recent decades. Beck said the main driver of inflation was increases in the housing and household utilities group. Construction prices went up 16% in the December 2021 quarter compared with a year earlier, while rents increased by 3.8%. He said the rise in construction prices had been much higher than typically seen in previous years. Restaurant Brands' foray into the mainland United States was the driving force in the company hitting $1 billion in sales in its 2021 financial year. NZX-listed Restaurant Brands New Zealand, which operates a mix of KFC, Pizza Hut, Taco Bell and Carl's Jr. stores across New Zealand, Australia, Hawaii and California, saw its total sales increase by $175.9 million or 19.7% to $1.07 billion in the year ended December 31st. About 87% of Australasian businesses say the COVID-19 pandemic has been the catalyst for a shift to a digital-first strategy. IDC has just released its Future Scope Worldwide IT Industry 2022 Predictions Report with specific reflections on the Australia and New Zealand region. IDC's New Zealand Country Manager Louise Francis joined the NBR's Will Mace.
When we actually start to drill down into what is digital first, we find that probably about half of businesses across New Zealand think that they're digital first, but when you actually ask about what they're doing, is it infused across the organisation, it's really only narrows down to about 1 in 10 organisations.
IDC New Zealand Country Manager Louise Francis with Will Mace there. It's understood 2 Degrees and Orcon, once merged, could be considering a potential acquisition or merger with Sky TV to their beefed-up telecommunications offering, and in doing so providing a genuine market competitor to incumbents Vodafone and Spark. Contacts close to Sky have told NBR the 3 parties have previously had informal discussions along this line, and the merger of 2 Degrees and Orcon, if waved through by authorities including the Commerce Commission, could lead to a serious discussion between the trio later in the year. The deal not only has to obtain clearance from the Commerce Commission, but also from the GCSB and the Overseas Investment Office. The Reserve Bank has appointed Westpac executive Karen Silk as Assistant Governor and General Manager of Economics, Financial Markets and Banking. She will also join the RBNZ's Monetary Policy Committee. The role was previously held by Christian Hawkesby, now RBNZ Deputy Governor. Silk's start date at the RBNZ is yet to be determined, but will be in coming months, the central bank said. The full details of those stories and more are at nbr.co.nz right now. Tomorrow at NBR and Hunter's Corner this week, Tim Hunter starts 2022 with a look at the fortunes of Fonterra farmers, while Rachel Smalley discovers working from home isn't what it's cracked up to be. I'm Paul Brennan. I look forward to being with you again tomorrow from around lunchtime for the morning's NBR trending stories. Then same time, same place, right here again from 5:30 tomorrow and through the weekend for our first NBR This Week of 2022.